Hi everyone, Randy Pertler, welcome back. I'm glad you joined me on this video. Listen, let's thank God and praise God for today, right? Today and every day. Listen, today's video I want to cover subject to acquisitions. I know I have some training videos out there that are quite long on this subject, so I wanted to give you a really quick little synopsis of the subject to acquisition and why this is such an important strategy. Number one reason why it's an important strategy is because you can do this strategy without any money down and without any credit, which is amazing. So tune in, listen very carefully, listen to this whole video, and if you want longer explanations, you can. So what's a subject to acquisition? A subject to acquisition is a way to buy properties where the homeowner that you're buying it from stays on the mortgage. So you're probably saying, wait a minute, why would they stay on the mortgage and give me their house? So here's why. Let's say somebody owes $100,000 and they have to sell their house. They're moving out of state, whatever reason, they got relocated, they owe $100,000. But the house is only worth $100,000. There's no equity there. In order to sell that house conventionally, going through a realtor, they probably have to come up with $5,000 to $10,000. That's to pay the attorney, the title company, the title insurance, the broker that's advertising the house. $5,000 to $10,000. Tax prorations, easily $5,000 to $10,000. What if they don't have $5,000 to $10,000, but they need to sell their house? Well, that's where you can come in. You can be their problem solver. I always tell everybody, real estate investors, the best ones are problem solvers. We solve problems involving real estate. And in return, we help somebody else out and we also get paid. So a subject to acquisition could be perfect for anybody that has little or no equity, but they have to sell their house. You say, well, that's not a great alternative. Hey, it might be their only alternative, right? So help those people that need to be helped. Now, here's what I'm going to offer you today is I have done subject to acquisitions. I've helped people out in this manner, and I've done it with specific documentations. I've perfected these documentations. I've used them on my subject to deals, and I'm going to offer you these documents for only $20. Oh, there's the only catch. I want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want you to like this video and then email me. The email is below. Email me the request and I'll set up payments with you. $20, that's all I'm asking for this documentation. This can literally make you hundreds of thousands of dollars during your real estate career. So listen, first thing is you need to have a good contract for this type of acquisition, right? It's not your traditional contract. You usually don't see subject to language in a traditional offer contract. This is one that is specifically designed for subject to financing, taking over the existing financing. I have the language on here that you'll need in order to make this deal work. Now, something very, very important. On the last page, this is called Addendum A. This is the due on sales acknowledgement. This will be very important. This will be important to protect yourself, also to make sure that that homeowner fully understands the strategy and the repercussions that can happen. So what are those repercussions, by the way? Due on sales. This is a due on sales acknowledgement, and that addresses the due on sales clause. So as you probably know, in most mortgages, all mortgages that I've ever seen, mortgages will have something that's called a due on sales clause or acceleration clause. That due on sales clause will say something like this. If the ownership of the property changes, the lender, at the lender's sole discretion, may call the mortgage due. The reason I want to emphasize may is they don't have to, right? They may if they want to. So why would they want to? Well, the only reason they would want to is if it's not performing. If those mortgage payments aren't being made, they're going to call it due, right? If there's huge amount of equity maybe in the house, they might want to call the mortgage due. But they're not in the business to get houses. If they have a non-performing mortgage, which is going to happen, if they call that mortgage due, the homeowner may stop making payments. Now it's a non-performing asset. That really hurts the bank. So the best thing for the bank to do is just keeping those on-time mortgage payments. All right. So in the subject to the acknowledgement, it shows that the owner understands about the subject to acceleration clause. It also tells us what the remedy is. If by any chance the bank does call the mortgage due, what is the recourse? Well, it states right in here that I can either pay the mortgage off and get them off the mortgage. I can refinance and pay the mortgage off. I can sell the house and pay the mortgage off. Worst case scenario, I deed the property back to them. Now they're going to be in better position than what they were before. Number one, they'll already have a paying renter already in their property. And number two, they'll owe less now because I would have made on-time payments for them. And then all of a sudden, they may have enough equity for $500 or $5,000, $10,000, whatever it's going to cost them to sell their house traditionally. So it's a win-win. It's going to help them, even if for some reason down the road I need to deed the property back. Obviously, that's not what I like to do. Now you're saying, well, why am I going to take on this house that has little or no equity? Because I buy rental property, and I would suggest you do the same based on cash flow, not equity. You only get the equity when you refinance or you sell the property. You want cash flow. Cash flow is king, right? So you evaluate these properties. How much is it going to rent for? The first one I did rented for $1,400. The mortgage, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance was about $1,150. Gave a $250 per month passive cash flow. How would you like to have $250 a month positive cash flow for just a recording fee of $52? That's about what it costs to record the deed. I even have a copy of the deed that I'm going to share with you. So that's why it's so important. So back to the paperwork. So I have the contract that you're going to need. I have the due on sale acknowledgement that you sign and notarize, and the seller signs and notarizes. Another thing, you're going to have to inform the lender where to send the new monthly statements. Guess what? I have that letter prepared for you that has worked time and time again. It gives them enough information, but not too much information to the lender. Perfect. Next thing. If the person goes on and wants to buy another property, they may need documentation that you're legally obligated to make these payments. I came up with this and helped that homeowner that moved out get their next mortgage by providing them with this documentation. Last thing that I provide for you, and this could vary in your state, but I'm even going to give you a sample copy of the deed that I use to record these. And like I say, most of these, because it's just a 2-page document, I'm usually paying about $52 to record this. So again, I would advise you to get trained as a real estate investor. I always tell people this: if you want to be a real estate investor, you're going to pay for your education whether you know it or not. I've taken what I believe is the best formal training in real estate education and real estate investing. If you want more information, contact me. I can get you in touch and connected to the exact same program that I used, and it's a lifetime. I've got it I got it over 10 years ago is when I got this education program, and every time they update it, I get all the updates for free. Highly recommend it. I can get you more information, okay? So again, please, step number 1, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Step 2, like this video. I would love that. Share it with your friends, people that you love, people that you want to help. And number 3, send me an email requesting this documentation, and I'll connect with you, and we'll work out a way to get the payment transferred. Remember, it's only $20 bucks. It would cost you, it'd take you at least a couple hours just to type this up. So I typed it up for you, okay? And I've done this tried and true paperwork that I've used. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, share it, and welcome to my YouTube channel. May God bless you. Bye-bye.